My name is Artem Shcherbakov. I'm from Roar Games. Yeah, I'm a game director.
And so when it comes to GDC, how have things been going so far this week?
Oh, it's super intense week. We came by Sunday and meet a lot of folks like other game developers, a lot of funds, VCs and different publishers. And it was fun, it's always super excited to meet some friends, old friends here, and to exchange some experience about game dev because especially for us, we're kind of new in the market and every advice means a lot.
And we're here to talk about a very special game,
Yeah.
Tenet of the Spark. Can you describe that game to someone who may not know?
Yeah. Tenet of the Spark, it's cinematic action when you can seamlessly switch between three worlds. The one world is a Wheels world, the modern reality. Another world is a Viking world, and we have Aztec world. And during the fighting arena and puzzles, you can seamlessly switch and do your fight stuff or solve some puzzle stuff. And it's all about this. And it's all about this emotion of switching.
Yeah, so you're switching almost like between characters, but also between like eras or time zones as well. So how does that concept come to be? How do you think of something like that?
Yeah, like we started all like 3-4 years before when we create animation short. It was like 2 minutes long video about the same boxer and his ability to connect to his own ancestors. And later we start, working with this concept and trying to find some similarity in the games. And the big reference for us, game called Titanfall 2. In Titanfall 2, there is a one level when you can seamlessly switch between two worlds, and we really like this concept because in many games you can play for different characters. It's not like a new stuff, but in Tenet of the Spark, you not only your character switched. It's reality around you, enemies, and you can work with some environment objects. For example, if you switch to the Viking, you can destroy some stuff. If you switch to the Aztec, you can interact with the environment also, and it's also this, create some moments of smart fight for you, and it's kind of fun. Yeah.
So with so much to choose from, what would you say is the most unique aspect of the game?
Yeah, it's definitely this time switching mechanics because for us it's like bullet time from Max Payne. Like for me when I play in games in my childhood, Max Payne bullet time was a feature. I'm like, no way, slow motion in the game with this kind of stuff, and we believe Spark will resonate with players a lot. We see it on the play tests already. When people first time switch, they're like, oh, no way, no shit, it's not fake gameplay, it's real. And we're like, yes, finally, You feel these real emotions, and the whole game's about some emotions, and it's single player, and we need to, every 15 minutes, sell something new to the player to like, wow. And with the Spark, we can place, with these different realities and biomes all the time, and it's kind of fun.
Because we've seen the trailers, and a lot of them have done very well, and they look.
Yeah.
It's like one of those gameplay trailers where you see it and you wonder, is the game as good
Yeah.
as the trailer? What was one of the hardest parts about putting this game together to look like a trailer but also play like the trailer?
Yeah, it's super challenging for us, especially because when we first start, we start from like 2 years before, we start from the first proof of concept. So we have a lot of prototypes, but we post like 20 seconds video, and but it was in super high quality, and the rest of the way we're trying to achieve this way of hit reaction, how the hits came to the enemies, how they react, all the hit reaction from different sides. The Sifu was a good reference for us in terms of fighting mechanics. I don't know, did you play? It's awesome game, Sifu, it's super stuff. And yeah, it's art-wise, because our previous background, we know how to do art and animation, but in terms of gameplay, it's super challenging because you always need to think about three dimension. Like, okay, for one character we solve this puzzle, but for three characters, we need to, create different archetypes who will adapt your strategy by themselves. So it's kind of challenging, but it's all about these balancing issues and everything. Yeah.
As a single-player game, what's the storyline? What is a player meant to achieve?
Yeah, like without spoilers, the idea of the Spark, it's our version of Force from Star Wars or something. So with the Spark, you can connect to your own ancestors, especially someone who has like some sort of unfinished business, and we all have some I don't know, dad or grandpa or someone else in a long past who was like a super bad guy, and you have some problem with him, and you're trying, to realize like, do I need to be like him, or I need to fix him, or I need to just forget about him? And during the story, we'll also trying to realize like how I need to, work with these two characters and how I need to operate with them. But it's just like one of the layer. Another is, of course, it's action story. So you fight against different bosses. You go through the pretty action, classical story of city. You come back to the city. You fight against different gangs and stuff like that. Yeah.
How much time has gone into this game up to this point?
You mean the production?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like from the ideation to now, it's exactly 2 years. But like. And only now we're in a production phase when we start working with all the levels and everything, and it's still around 2 years to like full delivery, but it all depends from the different factors, and we receive a lot of feedbacks, and when you post something in Twitter and TikTok, people like, well, release date. I saw this stuff like years before. When? Release? Tomorrow? No. And it's long, to produce a game. It's a fucking nightmare to do it, and so we like in a we boost the team, and right now it's around 25 people, and it's still not enough to produce game like AA genre, and we need to boost it more to do a lot of content, animation, all this environment stuff for 3 different biomes, especially. So it's kind of challenging.
Being indie, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going?
A lot of references from the industry, when you see like example of, I don't know, solo developers like the guys who create Balatro or something, or some different indie titles with a small team, and every year you see like crazy achievements by the game dev community, and on the other hand we see like crazy fails with $100 million budgets with some flops, and you don't feel like emotion in the game, but in some crafty, small stuff, you feel like this shit is real. And we're also trying to be, put some small details in the game which we really love. And we heard a lot like, when it's your first game, don't try to do like ideal game. It's not your game anymore. It's not about you and blah, blah, blah. But we believe like we're still trying to create our best we can, and that's why we're doing it every day by day. Yeah.
How do you feel about the current state of the gaming industry? There's a lot of, like you said, there's been a lot of flops. There's been some that have stuck and done well. But how do you feel overall
crazy
about it?
It's wild, yeah. Like, especially in US, like because of like salaries here, all this renting stuff and everything, it's super hard to have a team here, and I realized like while these layoffs come in and everything, and even on GDC this year, you see like there's less people than previous years, and publishers don't have a lot of money to invest in a game. There is less VCs who invest. Like in COVID, I read a lot about bunch of investments which puts in a lot of games, and some of them achieved some results, but a lot not, and every month or so we see some news, and because of flops of the game, market goes down, investors don't go in gaming, everyone don't receive the money, and developers only can be super indie, and this is the way now. Yeah, so it's tricky for sure.
What do you feel is the biggest challenge being an indie dev?
Stay on track, and you always, find, every week we find some issues, some problem during the team, or in just production. You always, I like the Cory Barlog quote about this, you're trying to create the car which did not exist yet, and you try to sell it to your team, to the market, to everyone, but you're not sure, is this car cool? And so you're trying to create something which is, you cannot even imagine, and it's super challenging to be consistent, because the truly the best experience of the game when it's all about the same theme, the UI and animation and art all works together, and it's kind of solid games we all love. Yeah.
Closing questions, just a few more. So why do you want to make a video game? Everyone knows how difficult it is. We know how tough the market is. It's very competitive, even if you have a good product. So why do you want to make a video game?
Yeah. We discussed it with some other developers, like worst industry we choose. Like for sure, like it's wild. But I don't know. Like I play from 6 years old in every types of games and 3D action specialty, and for us it's like dream come true. You know, I started doing 3D graphics when I was I don't know, like 13 years old in school when I bought a CD disc 3D Max to create 3D models, and it's like just continuity of the journey, and it's just dream come true, and hope we will achieve and deliver the game, the next game, and we'll continually doing some crazy stuff. Yeah.
What is your favorite video game of all time?
For me, it's Splinter Cell House Theory. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, especially this last year, things have picked up on AI entering the gaming space?
Yeah, like I see a lot of strange startups here in the market, especially when they raised huge amounts of money, and it's just nonsense. But some tools are super cool. For example, Movie Eye, it's a tool for animators. You can just grab free iPhones and shoot first grade of animation for some blocking design, and our animators have it, and it didn't give you like a final results, but when you need to prototype some stuff, it saves you a lot of time, and especially now when it's struggling time for developers, it's really helpful sometimes to use some useful technology to help. But for every types of art and animation, we believe like it's all about hand approach and craft approach by artists. It's like super important. Yeah.
You guys have fell into it's almost like a great problem to have, where you've had these trailers and these clips go extremely viral.
Yeah.
And you recently posted about how publishers only care about Steam wish lists. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, it's shitty situation because like when we all start this stuff, we don't have a Steam page at the moment, and we even received some feedback like, forget about Steam, you guys all about the console, it's all about this gamepad, and maybe you will be exclusive on some consoles, and it's just not about you. And we're like, okay, and it's our mistakes for sure, but still, you know, we resonate a lot, like hundreds of bloggers grab it and like, Tenet of the Spark, what is this? And if we have Steam page, we will, you know, reach out like thousands of wish lists. But then we create it too late, and I believe like we still, you know, can force it in some way. But yes, for the all indie devs, first time you realize like you want to post something in the internet, in Twitter, TikTok, if you think like it's not will be viral, it is. It always can be. So create Steam page, just placeholder with you know, 5 screenshots, and it's enough. You know, you start creating some fractions. And
yeah, it's so interesting. You see so many people blow up and go viral overnight, but they're not almost ready for the virality, and many people didn't realize that Steam was so important. So it's interesting finding out what is those pinnacles that you have to actually have before you go viral. So I think it's a good learning lesson for other indie devs, though. Before they get, because some will never even get the viral clips to begin with, right? And so you guys will continue to go viral, I'm sure, as you release stuff.
Hope so.
Last question for you: what's the end goal for the game then? You obviously want to find a publisher, but beyond that, what's the end goal?
The end goal of the development of the Tenet?
Yeah. Where do you want to take it?
You mean like a release date or?
Release date, but like what do you see for the future of the game?
Oh, of course, yeah. So we're definitely obsessed about, I don't know, like a Remedy way when they create some, not just one game, but the universe in some way, and we want to expand it more and more and think about like how we can see on this Spark stuff with another angle, with another characters maybe, or deep dive into the main story of the main character. And but I see it, you know, in a lot of pitch decks around a lot of my friends, like, we want to create transmedia IP, movies, TV shows, cartoons, 5 parts, DLCs, and it's all cool, but first we need to create the game, and then you never know,
That was awesome.
I have two. You might have already asked one of these, which if you did, then don't worry about it. But what inspired that function of switching back and forth in time?
Yeah, like one of the big inspiration from games, it's a game called Titanfall 2 with the time switching, and there is also level in Dishonored 2 game when you have some device when you can switch between two realities. It's kind of cool, and actually, like we see it in different movies, like I don't know, Tomorrowland, when you pick the stuff and you switch into the other reality. So, and we love it. We're still working actually to polish the gap between switching, because it's important for us to make it like frame by frame. Because if you have like a lag for 5 frames or something, you immediately like, ah, fuck, it's bugging, I hate it. And so we're working on it. Yeah.
Well, that leads into what my other question was going to be, was when we first posted about the game, a lot of people were almost doubting it, I would say. Like you
Yeah.
said, like, oh, it looks fake, it must be like not real. So how did you guys manage to pull off a system like that where it's so seamless?
Yeah, actually we try different approach. There is like opportunity in Unreal Engine to load 3 levels at the same time, and we try different techniques, like with a free camera, with simultaneously running and switching between them, or just uploading in the same moment. But in general, it's kind of possible, and it's all about optimization. So, but for us, the main aha moment when we realize like we don't need to create free game, in one, and you cannot switch all the time, because it is like impossible to do. And for us, you only can switch in fighting arenas and in puzzles arenas. Rest of it, it's just like exploring part for the main character without switching. But when you jump into like a stress zone, you can switch, and it saves us a lot of resources, money, and tech resources, mostly. So it's super important.
Cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Thank you.